Well, I want to bring our last guest of this program, and he's live from New Orleans from the Legacy Bowl practice. He made special time to join our broadcast. Let me bring in former A&T long snapper extraordinaire, John Davis. John, can you hear us?
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's going on, man?
Hey, John Davis.
Long time coming, man.
All right.
Sorry I'm a little late. We've had a pretty loaded schedule down here in New Orleans. So we've been doing stuff all day.
Listen, if you was gonna hang out on Bourbon Street, that's all you gotta say. You don't have to make up any stories for us, man.
I wish we could do all that. But it's been a great experience so far down here. They as soon as we stepped off the plane, they blessed us with all kinds of gear. Adidas is outfitting the whole entire experience. They gave us a bunch of travel bags and a whole bunch of sweatsuits and shirts and cleats and everything. So they've been treating us real good down here.
Oh man, so now that's dope. So this is kind of like a real, FBS type bowl experience. You getting all the swag and all that stuff.
Right, and I think this actually is way better than the Senior Bowl because we got our own helmets that we're gonna have for the game that they gave us to keep, and by come game time they're gonna put every college's logo on the back of the helmets of all the teams. So me, Corey, Maine, and Simp are all gonna have A&T on the side of our helmet, so it's gonna be real cool.
Okay, so like you mentioned, there's four of you guys, a fantastic four down there. Are you guys just clicking up and hanging out together? Is everybody kind of just rallying around each other?
For the most part, we've all been hanging around each other just because we know each other. But I've gotten to know the specialist group really well, and John Maine's gotten to know the running backs and so on and so forth. But it's really, really cool coming down here because it was funny. We were just at dinner and we were sitting with some guys from Alcorn. Felix Harper, the quarterback, and the Charles Pringle. And they were like, "So y'all from A&T, right?" And like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Don't y'all come down here bringing all those rings and stuff?" And we were like, "Hey, man, it's in the past, but
nah, man, that's
in your heads rent free."
Yeah,
that's good stuff, man. Time flies, man. John Davis, man, I'm not gonna hold you long, man. I know you got stuff to get to, but this time last year, man, I think I was helping out maybe over on campus doing something. But this time last year, I remember being up on top of the press box on a cold winter's day and seeing a couple jokers out there on the field mess around. I think I saw Amir McNeil was out there getting some work in. Corey Banks might have been getting some work in. And then the guys were like, "Man, who's out there? They've been out there all day, man. Who's that one kid out there?" And guys were like, "Hey, man, that's just John Davis, man. He's out there working on his long snap." And for the whole entire time I was on campus, man, you were in the stadium snapping balls at the goalpost. So to see, where you came from, not only just in a year, but your whole time at A&T, but to see your hard work actually pay off and you get that invite, and tell us what it was like to get that call and realize, hey, man, I'm going not only to New Orleans to play in the bowl game, but to have a legit opportunity to go continue doing something I love and playing football.
Right. So it was awesome to get the invite. I started 47 straight games for the Aggies.
Nice.
And
I
did not hear my name come up.
There you go.
I gotta add that to my list. That means
I did not hear my name come up.
47. Hold on. Go back. Slow down. Yeah. 47 straight games. You started.
47 straight games.
47 straight.
Wow. But you guys didn't know that, did you?
No, sir.
Because I was doing my job, which is how it is with long snapping.
Yes, sir. That's a good point.
Right. So it was just really nice to finally get to do something else, step up a little bit more. Not a lot of people know about special teams and long snapping and kicking and stuff like that and that whole process. So it was kind of cool to put a new light in A&T when, we've had a lot of great specialists in the past, but we've never really had a long snapper, go on and play in an event like this before. So it's really exciting.
Nice.
So what feedback have you gotten so far from the scouts? Because I'm sure that's part of the reason why you're down there. You're trying to audition and interview with NFL people who can hire and give you a job. So what have they told you about what they think of you?
Right. So it's actually really exciting. We get to punt, snap, and field goal snap right there, and all 32 teams are out there scouting. And the big thing they said for me personally is I need to gain a little bit more weight. I'm 220 right now, but by senior day I'll be 230, which is about the weight that I need to be at. And the tough thing is all the long snappers in the NFL these days are between 6'2" and 6'5". So I'm floating right around there at 6 foot and 6'1". So that was the big thing they want. But all my snaps were on point, so they were really excited about that. All my field goals were laces out. So That was a big focus, as they said. Your snapping ability is absolutely where it needs to be for NFL. We just got to make sure we get the exact size that I need to be.
The measurables, right?
Right.
So I guess you're saying you're about 10 pounds away from you feel like your ideal pro weight?
Right, exactly.
So what's your plan? You going to hire a trainer or something like that? You're just going to just eat at KFC every day or something like that? How do you put on, like, because I know how I can put on 10 pounds of weight, but how do you want to put on 10 pounds of, I guess, muscle, I guess?
Maybe a little bit of both.
But
I actually live in Miami Beach. I'm training down there right now with a trainer, and I have a nutritionist. So I ended last season around 205 is what I started off about 215 and finished around 205. So over the past however many months since Gardner Webb, I've gained about 15 pounds of muscle. So that's really good. So I'm really on track right now to where I need to be. So that's how I've been kind of managing that.
That's awesome.
I have one question, John Davis. Aside from being the first couple of Aggie Athletics, we know that you were with young Edie Brewer. I had a chance to meet her over at campus when we fed the team. And she had a lot of glowing things to say about you. But I also follow you online. You may be the most interesting man in long snapping. I see you traveling. I see you having a good time. Are you looking forward to being away from college and kind of taking on some new endeavors? What are you looking forward to outside of football?
It's so crazy. People ask me that because, I spent the first 3 years of college just in the classroom, snapping and focused. And when people were partying, I was always in my room, kind of just like doing work, keeping to myself. And now I feel like now that I'm out of college, I really wish I would have gone back and done all that stuff now. But, I'm excited, all the things I learned from A&T and applying them to life. I actually live down in Miami Beach. I run a yacht chartering company. It's a family business, so I have a boat that I work on that I run down there.
Davis
so
numbers.
Hold on a second. Hey, look it. Okay, so John, I'm a former journalism mass communication major. So when we learn how to write articles, they have a thing called burying the lead. You don't want to put your most important information in the bottom. So you should have led with that. You should have said that you have access to yachts, because that's all I care about now. So forget about the NFL. Let's talk about you have a family business and you guys charter yachts. Is that correct?
Well, it is correct. My dad works in finance, and I've grown up on boats my entire life. We boated on Lake Michigan, and then we boated in Miami the past 10 years. And so the boat we had up in Chicago was a 50-foot yacht. We brought it down to Miami last August, and then my dad wanted to sell it, and I said, hey, let me take it and turn it into a chartering business? And he said, sure. So then we found some dockage space in Miami, and then I launched the business from there. And I've actually been managing that on the side during our last season. So I was playing football, finishing my MBA, and then also managing a yacht chartering business. So I was making sure I was staying really busy in my final semester.
Aggies do.
For real. That is so cool. So do you know how to actually steer the yacht? I mean, do you have a captain's license or whatever? Are you able to?
So we have a full-time crew. So I have a captain and some stewardesses that we have on call. I keep my captain on salary all year round because he's also my engineer, and he does all the work on the boats for us. So he does a lot I deal with most of the business side, and he does all the hands-on things.
Okay.
And it really runs itself in a lot of phases, but I like to be there to make sure everything runs smoothly.
So I'm just saying, if something happened to your captain in the middle of the ocean, you could bring the yacht back safely to the shore.
I could. I mean, I could operate. I could drive it. I don't have a captain's license, but I've been around boats so long that it's day and night really for me at this point.
That is so awesome. That is awesome. All right, so let's go back to football though. So this week, how many long snappers are in New Orleans this week?
So it's just two. One on Team Robinson, and then just me on Team Gaither.
Gotcha. So you'll be doing pretty much everything for your team.
100%.
You'll be great. So that's a super amount of reps.
Yeah.
And the game is 3:00 New Orleans time, 4:00 Eastern time on NFL Network, and they're selling tickets, so there should be a pretty decent crowd, I would think.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a great show out. I'm really excited. They've really been advertising super well. Last night we got to meet the mayor of New Orleans and the owner of the Saints, and they've done a really great job of just advertising and pushing this game out to everyone to make sure that it gets a good crowd there at Tulane.
Okay, and can you give us a little quick, report on how our other guys are doing, Jermaine and Simpson and Banks? How those guys looking?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to kind of peek in a little bit?
I have, and that's the best part about being specialists. We did this at A&T. We do a little bit of our work, field goal, punt, and then the rest of the hour and a half we just observe and watch.
Okay.
So John Main, he's been absolutely lighting it up down here. It's crazy. The trainer he works with, he's been working with Brandon Marshall down in Florida also, and his body transformation has been crazy.
Wow.
When he stepped off the plane, he looks just like so muscular and so cut right now, and he's just been toting the rock. And all the scouts, every time he runs the ball or catches the ball, you see them penciling things down. And Simpson, he did really good today also. He was actually a highlighted player in the one-on-ones. He's been really strong there in the interior line. And Corey's just doing his thing, running super sharp routes and catching all the balls that come his way. So it's been really great for all of us. We've been putting a good showing down here for A&T.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited, man. And let me ask you this though, since before we let you go, we had some news on the coaching front last week with Coach Gibbs and Coach Jones both leaving to take positions at Fort Valley State University. And I know Coach Jones, Coach Gibbs kind of had some his hand in special teams a little bit. What were your thoughts on his, getting that promotion, I guess, and this what type of impact you think that's going to have with the program?
I actually talked to him about this a little bit over the past few months. I always thought that he'd been such a great fit for head coach at any program, and I'm really glad that he's finally getting that opportunity. And he actually recruited me to come to A&T, so it was a little bit more personal for me. And him running special teams, he always took it so seriously, and he always stressed little things. And we always say that defense wins football games, but him and we had our little agreement between us that we believe that special teams wins football games. And I'm definitely excited to see how all these new young guys up and coming are going to do, taking over the reins after we had such a massive flip, with me graduating and Mike grad transferring, and then we lost Noel a couple of years ago. So it's going to be a big transformation for the special teams unit, but I'm excited to see what they can put out there.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to fill. I mean, that's big shoes to fill all across. I mean, you, Mike, I think Mike is at San Jose State now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's tough. And I'm saying, I think it's almost one of those deals where you don't know what you have until it's gone, unfortunately.
Right.
And you guys were so consistent, especially you. I mean, and I told you, I think I sent you a text message or something. I said, by far, you were the greatest long snapper I've ever seen.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But the fact is, like you said, because I didn't think about it, it's like it was automatic. When we had a field goal or a punt or whatever, it was going to happen. It was going to get executed, at least from the snap part, without any worry. So you take it for granted, And so hopefully, we can have a formula so we don't have to start getting all nervous about that stuff again. Because trust me, I remember when those things were not a given, and you talking about pins and needles every time the ball went back there. But when did you become, I guess, focused as a child, a young athlete about long snapping? Because that's not something that kids don't want to grow up to be a firefighter, a policeman, astronaut, and long snapper. Well, how did you pick long? You know what I'm saying? How did you pick long snapper as your trade that you were going to pursue?
Right. So the way that most guys get into it is either in middle school or high school. Their coach says, "Hey, we need someone to do it," and then someone steps up. So that was how it worked out for me in like 8th grade. And then my dad told me, he's like, "Hey, you can get scholarships to go do this in college." And I was like, "Seriously?" And so I started training at showcases and camps. And I have a personal trainer back in Chicago where I grew up, that I worked with every weekend. And, I rolled in a few offers my senior year. I was actually committed to FAU, but then I decided to decommit and go to A&T because I want to go to HBCU really badly. And what better one than, A&T, the best one in the whole country. It was really exciting because I saw that was the year that I graduated high school was the year Tariq got drafted by the Bears. So I was like, okay, well, they just had a guy get drafted. The Bears, my favorite team, just drafted a guy from the school. I should probably go there. And then the rest is history.
So slow down. You were in Chicago, the Chicagoland area? Were you in Chicago City or right outside?
Chicagoland area. So
okay,
the suburbs about 30 minutes outside.
So you went in like Chirac. You went in like the.
I was not in Chirac.
Okay.
I was not in the part that you hear about in the rap.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, but you had an affinity for HBCUs and you wanted to experience HBCU culture.
I did because I grew up in a predominantly white community, and I really wanted to expand my horizons and learn more about my blackness and my black side, which is not something really I got to experience too much growing up, and I thought it was really important for me to dive more into that and to really learn and surround myself with other people that want to be surrounded by black excellence.
That's dope. So did you have any feelings about the news about A&T leaving the MEAC? Obviously a HBCU conference. Were you for, against, indifferent? What were your thoughts when that happened?
Right. So when the news broke, I was like, that's good for them. In the future, they'll get a shot in the playoffs, because by the time that rolled around, I was supposed to already be gone. Yeah. 2020 was supposed to be my senior season. But then next thing you know, COVID hits, and now I'm playing in the Big South. And it was really tough because I always loved playing the Celebration Bowl. That was my favorite experience. And, after my freshman year, my parents just started marking on the calendar in August. They'd be like, all right, so we'll be
we all did. We all did.
Me too. We all did. Right. We all did. And, it was great. I love being in the HBCU conference. I love the Battle of the Bands. I love going to all the different stadiums and things like that, being surrounded by other black people. And, it was tough at first. And the adjustment to the Big South was definitely not easy. But I trusted that the administration know exactly what they were going to do. I'm sure they had a plan that was way beyond me, way above my pay grade for the future. So I really hope that, everything works out. I know that the Big South has some people leaving, and it's getting a little shaky right now, but, I'm confident that we'll figure it out and hopefully get back on the track that we're used to being on as a program.
Gotcha. All right, so guys, this guy he's been answered the bell, went above and beyond the Call of Duty because he rushed back from the hotel to get back on his hotel Wi-Fi to do this. He's been super great with his time. And John, we wish you the best, man. Like, we're rooting for you. I didn't know you were this interesting. I thought you was a boring lone snapper. And now I found out you're like one of the most interesting people like I've ever met. So can you come back on the show again, like, and later on this football season, just as a correspondent?
Let me know.
We don't even have to talk football. We can talk, man. We can talk water, boats, whatever.
Anything.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So,
Absolutely.
Craig, you got anything else, Craig? You wanna run by this guy?
Nah, I'm like you. Man. I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
All I can say, John, you've taken it to another level, man. And I hope this NFL thing works out. If it don't, I got a feeling you're gonna be okay.
All right.
Definitely. If it doesn't work out, you guys are. Even if it does work out, y'all are all welcome to come down to Miami Beach anytime and come on the boat.
One of my favorite spots, John. I'm gonna hold you to it.
All right.
Listen.
I might get a boat.
No problem.
Here's the thing about this. This is recorded, so it's time stamped. So when I show up and they try to Doug, when they try to call the cops, I'm like, the hell? I got an invite. Yo, man, for real. That's so cool. Actually, I kind of am so curious now. Want to find out about this business because, like, I know what your quarterback Kingsley Infetti. He was a real business-minded guy as a graduate, and he was putting out Instagram stuff about doing taxes, and he had like an Airbnb.
He was actually just on my boat a few days ago. He came down to hang out with me for a while, and he actually shot a promotional video for his business on my boat.
Jeez Louise. So
yeah.
And so Doug is he's kind of one of those late bloomers. He's starting a hip hop career, and so you're saying he can probably use your boat for one of his video shoots.
Come on now, let's do it.
All right, Doug. So there you go, man. Hey, listen, man. A lot of guys get started in the rap game late, Doug.
That guy, John.
Yeah.
It won't be in rapping, but we'll wrap up some other stuff, John, for sure, man. Miami is my spot.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
but hey, so John, I'm going to bug you now, and we're going to get you back on the show a couple of times because I'm thinking some cool out of the box stuff we can do because you definitely have a cool perspective on things. But let's focus on football for this week. 3:00 New Orleans, 4:00 Eastern time. It's going to be on NFL Network. It is the Legacy Bowl, which is probably one of the coolest things that I've seen in a long time. You guys are blessed to be a part of it. The NFL is taking it so seriously. They're putting all the promotions and bells and whistles on it, and you guys get to keep your helmets. Hey, do me a favor. So take a picture of all that stuff and put it on Twitter because I'm not on Instagram. So show me all the cool stuff, and I can live vicariously through you. Because that sounds like it's like some
I got
fun
you.
stuff. Yeah. But tell all the fellas that we are rooting for them and we're so proud. Go ahead and get some rest, man, and we will. We're gonna watch you on Saturday, but we're gonna definitely be in touch, John.
Definitely, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on here.
Man, it's been my
Good stuff,
pleasure.
man.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Have a good one.